Today I want to share with you the 5 best pieces of career advice that I wish somebody had given me when I was in my 20s. These are things that nobody ever told me. I had to figure them out. So the 5 pieces of advice. Number 1, be and think like a taste tester. This means that when you're younger, you're not gonna have everything figured out. You're not gonna know what you wanna do, which company that you wanna work for. Now, have you ever gone to an ice cream shop or one of those frozen yogurt places and you're overwhelmed by all the flavors that are there? And so what do? You take a couple samples, you taste test. And I encourage people earlier on in their careers to think and be like a taste tester. It's okay that you don't have things figured out. Try different things, see what you like, see what flavors you like, and where you naturally gravitate towards. So that's tip number 1. Number 2, build your own ladder. I remember when I was younger, everybody said you have to pay your dues, you have to climb the corporate ladder, you gotta start at the very bottom, you gotta go all the way to the top. And I was always told that I need to climb somebody else's ladder. But for what? You can make your own ladder. Especially now in this new world of work that we're all a part of, you don't need to climb anybody else's ladder, make your own ladder. And I wish that somebody had told me that when I was earlier on in my career. Number 3, it's okay to listen to others and hear other people's opinions, but ultimately you need to make your own choices. You need to make your own decisions. I fell into this trap earlier on because people would always tell me different things, what I should do, what I should study, where I should live, and I was wandering around all over the place doing what everybody else told me. But the reality is that it's okay to listen and to heed the advice of others, but make the decisions yourself. Nobody knows you like you do. Nobody's going to look out for you but you. So be open to other people's feedback and advice and suggestions, but ultimately, you need to make your own choices. Don't let anybody else make choices for you. Number 4, the 4th thing I wish somebody told me when I was early on in my 20s is life is too short to be miserable at work. I had a lot of terrible jobs earlier on in my career where I would show up to work, I would get that pit in my stomach. I saw family members go through this as well. I saw friends go through this, where just the unpleasantness of having these terrible jobs. And I thought that I had to slog it through, that that's what work is, that that's what a career was, that's what business was. I had to just go through all this unpleasantry because that's kind of how the corporate world was. And I spent years of my life just unhappy, being miserable, going through all the motions because I thought that that's what I had to do. But the reality is that life is too short to be miserable at work. If you are miserable at your job, if you're miserable at your company, if you're showing up to work upset, if you're coming home from work crying, depressed, arguing with your spouse, life is too short to be miserable at work. And the 5th thing that I wish somebody told me earlier on in my 20s is be self-aware. Be self-aware. When I was younger, when I first became an entrepreneur, I refused to get help from anybody else because I thought I could do everything. I thought I knew everything. And the reality was that I wasn't very self-aware because I thought my strengths were everywhere and I thought I had no weaknesses. Had I understood my strengths and weaknesses earlier on, I would have gotten help from others much earlier. I would have brought team members on much earlier. So be self-aware, understand your strengths, your weaknesses, and understand how other people in the world perceive you as well. So those are the 5 tips that I wish somebody had given me, the 5 things I wish somebody told me when I was an entrepreneur earlier on in my 20s. Thanks for watching. If you want more content just like this, then please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want to know what it takes to be a future-ready leader based on interviews that I personally did with 140 of the world's top CEOs, then make sure to go to futureleadercourse.com.